Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's August the 2nd, and it's the 13th day of me having gone without any food whatsoever. The 13th day is the most I was able to do the last time as well. And right now, aside from a gigantic, one of those bags that holds together bottled waters, I'm not seeing a whole lot on this road other than the beautiful vegetation. No insects, no roadkill. Oh, and also the other passengers that are occasionally passing by in this beautiful landscape. I'm in Glacier National Park. This will be my third night sleeping here, and I've traveled quite a few miles trying to find wildlife in this park. I'm not saying it's not here. What I'm saying is that what I'm seeing is almost indicating that there's not so much at the moment for some reason. Because normally you'd have birds flying across the road. Normally you'd have little ground squirrels that were the day's fatalities for the roadkill. And normally in the campground where I'm at some point throughout the night, we should be able to hear owls and different animals that normally would be in the proximity at night. But these times are not exactly normal right now. There's less and less wildlife, and there's more and more evidence that only people happen to be the life that's available here in this area, which is really strange. You can talk to a lot of the park residents, the employees, and many of them will say the same thing. When they're staying outside in their own homes, they're seeing all kinds of wildlife there. It's kind of like in the residential areas back home where I'm from, where people water their lawns and the vegetation is lush enough to still support something that fruits. You have animals there in those areas. For whatever reason, in this whole park, now I've only been here again just, the 3 days. The 3 nights. Guess I'll be here 4 days now. I'm not sure. My math is continuing to be a little bit off. Because again, I've gone 13 days without food. And I keep running into things like this. There's someone in one of their little golf carts driving around here. It's not permissible. The cart doesn't have plates. It's not street legal. I'm just going to turn around at this point because the road is unpaved, and every vehicle that goes through these roads needs to be something that can be plated. But for some reason, again, there are a lot of numbers of examples where for some reason people don't really need to follow the directions. And I can understand that. Look at the clouds through the window. I'm going to pull over because there's also a car coming this way and I want it to pass by. The clouds are pretty gorgeous. The scenery is gorgeous. I'm having a beautiful day. And all at the same time, I just want to reiterate that we're seeing a lot less wildlife than we normally would have. By what measure? Well, some people might not consider me as any kind of a forebearer of any kind of news related to anything. has to do with this kind of circumstance. But I can tell you for a fact that each of the times when I've driven these roads before, for the entirety of the distances, there was always wildlife and evidence of wildlife. And during this same time of year, much to my dismay, I'm seeing a lot less life. Part of that is why I decided to not eat. Part of it was for spiritual reasons. Part of it was for health, but not just my health, the health of all. Many of us aren't really paying attention, and some people are just not participating, when being asked for help. Some people won't participate, and at the end of the call, they'll say, "You need help because, I've got some pretty strong concerns." And the strong concerns get other people concerned. When other people get concerned, the only thing they can usually reference is their therapist. Well, I'm a little pissed, so do I count as your therapist? Probably not. Whatever the case, thank you for joining me on this journey and listening to my crazy, some people call them rants. I'm not ranting. I'm talking coherently, using easy to process words about a circumstance that should be the only thing on the news for as long as we're trying to figure out how to survive together as humanity should be able to. For some reason, we don't seem to be able to pull it together. Oh, I got two things. Check this out. So I don't think I was able to capture that, but it was two squirrels, black squirrels, running through this forest. Normally, you see gray squirrels. These didn't quite look like rock squirrels, and now finally a chipmunk. So things are looking up. I'm driving this road when things are starting to stir. So I'm going to go ahead and close out this video just by saying there are things we should not be seeing in this place that we're seeing, and there are things that we're seeing in this place that we should not be seeing. And mainly, that's the reason why I didn't want to eat anymore. I feel a little sick when I see the things that I'm seeing out here and how people are being treated in all kinds of different ways. There's a lot of goodness, but there's also a lot of lack of participation. And I know how that feels on the family level, but on the work level and on the participation level of, hey, do as you're told when you're in a national park, etc. level, things are just off. Awful. If you really stop and think about it for a while. So maybe this year, as the holidays approach and continue to approach over and over, maybe this will be the year that someone else decides to put a stop to what they're doing. And maybe they'll have been inspired by this video. I'm not sure. For me, if I were watching all these things and knowing that I was paying attention to a super fan of nature, I think I would give it a little bit of credibility, but it sure would be hard to stop eating and stop doing things for a while that were entertainment value. Why? Because usually we can't just stop and be pleased with the voices that are already in our own head. Sometimes those voices have been superseded by a lot of programmed voices, and you don't even know it until you stop paying attention and can't understand simple things that are being communicated to you. And that's basically how they would take your rights from you, because you're not paying attention. Are you paying attention? If you are, click on the thumbs up. Thank you for subscribing. Thanks for commenting, sharing this where it's appropriate. And also thanks for looking through the catalog of videos and understanding what I'm trying to bridge here and how challenging it's been. For all of you who are participating by subscribing, it means a lot. Thank you so much again. Until next time, peace, love, and all that old school stuff.